So now we're at setting hover throttle. The copter includes automatic learning of hover throttle, previously known as mid-throttle. End of statement. Thank you very much. Bye. I've been plagued by this since it came up this build, because that should be all that's done here, isn't it? Copter includes automatic learning of hover throttle, period. I remember there was a mid-throttle thing at one point. I never used it because I was not building quads at that time. I'd already done that. I was firmware behind where mid-throttle occurred. And in doing this today, I got a surprise. It says here the motor thrust hover value will slowly move towards the average motor output whenever the vehicle is holding a steady hover in non-manual flight modes, i.e. all modes except stabilize. So that's a manual and acro. So those two modes, it won't do it. Well, good. That gives me a little more insight into what's going on here, so I know that only when I'm at altitude hold does that matter. So now I know if I'm in stabilized mode for the first time since I started this build. I now know that if I'm flying in stabilized mode, I shouldn't be putting the throttle someplace and expecting motor thrust hover to get me there in stabilized. Other modes I can. But in stabilize, I think if I've got a sort of a good steady hover in stabilized mode, I think what I'm going to have on my throttle at that moment is what I used to put in for the PWM for my hover throttle. But today, as I read on, if you wish to manually set the motor thrust hover, which I've discussed already in several videos, yeah, I do. I don't like this. I'm beginning to like it more. Because now I know more about it. Just like today, I found out in stabilized mode, I don't have to worry about it. I can be assured it's not doing anything in stabilized. So therefore, I can compare when I fly the stabilized behavior of the throttle against non-manual flight modes. I'm feeling more comfortable with it. So I don't wish as much as I used to wish I could manually set the motor thrust hover value. It's best to download a data flash log and set the value to what is seen on the C-Tune throttle O field. The value should be between 0.2 and 0.08. If for some reason you wish to disable learning, you can set it to 0. Yeah, we discussed. I may do that. Well, now they come down here and they show C-Tune throttle. C-Tune. Can you do it like this? Yeah, you can. Cool. C-Tune throttle O. This isn't the way I used to do it. This isn't the way it was done at one time. So I came in here to do it, and I was expecting a completely different creature. So here's the value. So they're evidently looking down through here for this value right out here. So mine would be, this is 0.1, this is 0.05, 0.06, 7, 8, 0.09, 0.1, 6, 7-ish. So mine would be like 0.08-ish. If I were to change it, I'm not going to. Now the way I used to do it was with PWM. You could read it straight off the thing. Don't do it this way. I'm just showing you some other tidbits. And let's see, I need to take this out of that graph. Now do I get, no, wow. I used to be able to go, this one is in PWM, this is your RC channel output. Used to be able to go on this and point towards these peaks and read them. And get a number, which, see, in the old days I would come through, I would go up. This is during an auto tune. I would go up doing a hover. Okay, let me try to find a log where I wasn't doing any kind of a movement at all. And let's try this one right here. I don't think that one was one where I was moving around much. RC out for channel 3. Yeah. See, considering this right here would be a hover, in the old days I would come in here. It used to be, boy, I just don't understand. I'm going to have to relearn data flash logs because they've changed them so much. I would just come in here. This is basically where it's hovering at, and come out here and read. That'd be just about 20, 40, 60, 80, 20, 40. Right in here, be about 1260 PWM. And you went in there and you put in a PWM value. And then that's where the platform would hover at, and it would be that PWM on your radio, and it would pretty much line up right with the tick mark on your throttle on the gimbal, and everything was copacetic. Now they want you to read this for this value. Oops. Ooh, am I zoomed? Oh, this was on that flight. Yeah, and see, this is the 0.2 mark out here. So this is my hover. So again, that would be that 0.8 or whatever I read off the other one. So they're reading it out here. Yeah, that's it. So they're not even. So see, mine reading 0.0 to C-tune thrust 0. And we might be looking at the wrong flight, of course. We're just going to go back to that auto tune. We're just looking at how you would do this. You're going to have your own data out of your own platform to be really doing this. You can't use mine. You might have all sorts of differences. So this was 0.05. And see, they want that value. They want that value set from 0.2 right here. I'm trying to get to the 0.8 up here. To 0.8 up here. Mine's way down here for some reason. And they want it set between here and here. So I can't do this and set it in the way they say. Also, while I'm here, I found, let me make sure I've got the right log here. Yeah, my auto-tune log. That I don't know where the messages are in here that I could read any other way, but if I turn messages on right here for that flight and for the auto-tune, and then map any value, then down here, this was the changes This was roll tune, this was pitch tune, and this was yaw tune. Got auto tune success. I got my messages. I found messages. I sure did. You can even see auto tune reached a limit, some other things here. Down here's all sorts of them. In order to see them, I have to scroll in with my mouse wheel so that my scale right to left starts expanding out, so these messages down here will expand. And now I can see that here the auto-tune pitch rate up 25%, rate up 25%, rate up 25%, rate up 75%. Oh, pitch angle down 0, pitch angle down 0, pitch angle down 25%. Here's all those messages. I don't know how to scroll right to left. I can't grab the graph. Can't scroll the timeline. I need to relearn data flash logs for the current versions of the firmware. It's been a long time, and I haven't really had to dig into the firmware logs and stuff to this extent in airplanes. When I switched over 2 years ago and past year started flying, in actuality a few flights, I haven't really started digging through their data flash logs that much because it's not really required. Airplanes are so much easier to set up. I hope that's one of the things everybody's finding out. So basically for right now, I'm getting more comfortable with automatic learning of hover throttle. And I see that I don't like their explanation of setting it manually here. Well, I'm not going to chase it, because I'm getting more comfortable with this advanced feature, which I think probably they should just come in here and put in this sentence and leave all the technical stuff out. When I run into a problem, I might think differently. And that's how I sometimes do things. Sorry about that, guys. Again, these aren't how-to videos. These are how is the old man doing it. And with this, we'll click next. And we're at auto trim. So this video is finished. Thank you so much.